The Dallas Mavericks are at a crisis. If Dallas re-signs Kyrie Irving this offseason, I think you can kiss Luka Doncic goodbye. Goodbye. I think that is going to be the start of the beginning of the end of Luka in Dallas. You sign or re-sign Kyrie Irving this offseason, which Mark Cuban has talked about being his number one priority this offseason, despite the results we just seen. If you re-sign Kyrie Irving this offseason, I think Luka Doncic, sooner rather than later, will want to force his way out of Dallas. And for anyone arguing against that point, I ask you why? Why should Luka want to stay in Dallas long term? Why should he believe right now in the coaching staff, in the GM front office, in the owner, and Mark Cuban? Mark Cuban said earlier this week, his number one priority this offseason is re-signing Kyrie Irving. Does anyone think that's going to lead to success? Does anyone think the Dallas Mavericks are a real threat to do anything next year in the West with Kyrie Irving back in Dallas? No, absolutely not. And it's just going to be another tally to Mark Cuban's record of failed attempts to put legitimate talent around Luka Doncic. He's tried with Kristaps Porzingis. That trade still earned the Mavericks. Big miss there. He's trying now to double down on what has been a bad investment on Kyrie Irving and basically go round two instead of realizing this is a bad move, let's move on. So he's doubling down, or wants to at least, intends to bring Kyrie Irving back and double down on what was a horrendous trade just because of what they give up. Now he wants to try to bring him back this offseason. So if you're Luka, you look around, Kristaps Porzingis did not work. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, the 2 months he was here, did not work. Now you're going to double down on that? Bring him back on a long-term deal? If I'm Luka, I'm losing faith right now in the Dallas Mavericks organization big time. Big time. And that's going to really lead me to question, do I really want to be here? I think you look around, it's going to happen pretty fast. Luka's going to say, you know what? I can't win a championship here. I got to go somewhere else. So Mark Cuban this offseason has a massive decision to make. It's his and his only. Do I want to keep Kyrie Irving or do I want to keep Luka Doncic? And for me, that answer is very, very easy. Very, very easy. Because look how this season has gone. Look how this Dallas Mavericks season has gone. I mean, 2 months Kyrie Irving came to town. Before Kyrie, let's go BK, right? Before Kyrie this year, Dallas was firmly in the playoffs. They were a 5 seed in the West. Were they going to win the title? No. But they were at least a playoff team in the mix. Since Kyrie Irving, they have been 9-17, and they went from that number 5 seed in the West to out of the playoffs. Officially eliminated from the playoffs hours ago. They made a trade and went all in on a guy in Kyrie Irving that was supposed to, in theory, help lead them to a championship, right? If everything worked out, lead them to a championship. Instead, Kyrie comes to town, this team gets exponentially worse, and now forget about playoff team, forget about winning a playoff series. You're not even in the play-in tournament. You're out. You're one of the worst 4 teams in the Western Conference since you added what was supposed to be this quote-unquote superstar in Kyrie Irving. So what have you seen if you're Mark Cuban? What have you seen if you're a Mavericks fan or a basketball fan that thinks the Mavericks should re-sign Kyrie Irving? What have you seen in these last 2 months that makes you think it's going to get any better in Dallas moving forward? I don't see it. I don't see how more years, more time, more money to Kyrie is going to make any sort of difference in terms of wins and losses for the Dallas Mavericks moving forward. Now, I'll ask you a very simple question. When was the last time Kyrie Irving has made a team better? Did he make the Celtics better when he was with them? No. Did he make the Nets better when he was with them? Absolutely not. And the Dallas Mavericks, we saw right in front of our face the last 2 months, that answer, it's a glaring no. So it's not going to work in Dallas. It absolutely is not going to work in Dallas, which is why if Mark Cuban gets what he wants, re-signs Kyrie Irving long-term, it's going to be the beginning of the end of Luka Doncic in Dallas. He's going to look around, realize I can't win a championship here. My owner can't make the right moves to get the right talent around me. I got to go somewhere else to win a championship. You re-sign Kyrie, I think you can start to wave goodbye to Luka Doncic in Dallas. He'll want out, and there's going to be Mark Cuban at the end picking up the pieces of another failed trade, all on his hands.